Good morning. Welcome to Tip Off from Dallas, Texas. For those of you on YouTube, okay, there it is. There's the little abode for the day. Nothing else to it. Another hotel room, another night. Though this has been truly one of the easiest months of any schedule I have ever been a part of thus far. So no way I can complain about anything we've experienced thus far. Sorry, it took a little while today. I've got to get this whole system set up. It looks like it's going to work. It may allow me to record some podcasts from the road. We'll see. Great suggestions. We're really trying to build Locked On Jazz into this just spot you have to go to and have it be threefold. Have it be a place for you to get podcasts, a place for you to get player interviews and such, and a place for you to get information on the team. And so I'm trying to figure this out. I don't know if I can pull off 5 podcasts a week. Is that too many? Is that what you want? I think I could probably do a weekly with O'Connor. Try to see if we can do a weekly with Chiesa. See if we can. We're doing the PKI, so there's 3. And then maybe have a 4th one that's a member of the broadcast team. So it's Harpering, Bowler, Booner, maybe Phil. And then maybe a Friends of Locke for the other. Or unless you tell me that some of those seem more important to you than others. Most of those are Jazz-centric. Friends of Locke would be more around the league. Give me suggestions. Tell me what are the things that you want. In addition to that, trying to figure out how to do some posting. I'm a believer, just to give you some insight, in regularity. So, there's something where every Monday you want this, every Tuesday you want this, every Wednesday you want this, every Thursday you'd want to stat this, every Friday. Is there some stat I should be publishing every day that, and then along with regular stories. So I'm just trying to fiddle out, keep sending suggestions. The most interesting comment I got yesterday was the fact that he really liked the new Yahoo player and the impact the Yahoo player. And I am realizing that my microphone is coming in. No, it's coming on the a little low right now, but on YouTube. Sorry about that. You'll have to just amp it up. So anyway, one person suggested to me that I used to do YouTube because there was no pause button on our audio player. Bill's taken over and done some great things there, and along with Steve. And there's now a pause in the audio player. So the question now is there any real reason for me to be doing this YouTube thing? Boy, I'm just sitting here looking at you, and you're looking at me, and it's very weird. Though 1,000 people plus every day seem to hit it. But is that something you could just do on your audio player the same way? So now that we have a pause button. So send me that. Okay, let's get into it. Sorry for that 3-minute thing. Jazz home against the Kings tomorrow. Tickets are still available for that. 325-2999. That's 325-2999. You also can get the Papa John's package, which includes the San Antonio Spurs game in February and a medium pizza. And I think it's like $58, so that's good. The other one I would suggest with this team being so much fun is the 5-game packs are still available. Where you can pick 5 games around the schedule and jump out and see them. Quickly, a few thoughts around the league, then I'll get to tip-off questions today. Since Al Jefferson's knee comes back, or ankle comes back as tendonitis, that's good news. There was a lot of concern that maybe there was a bone chip floating in there. I've lived it with Ray Allen where suddenly he wakes up one day and the ankle's not right and there's a bone chip in there and he ends up missing, huge amounts of time after that standpoint. So, that, I think, is at least a nice, good news. I don't know what it means for Al playing today. I'm going to head to shoot around here in just a little bit. And follow me on Twitter at @LockdownSports, and we'll have that for you. In addition, I think a lot of questions still percolating about Gordon, and he's going to have some moment where he gets going. Tonight's a tough matchup with Sean Marion, and we'll see. One of the tip-off questions that came in regards to Gordon was 3 versus 2, and I have always felt he's a better player at the 2, but I'm not sure that is causing him to have his offensive struggles right now, and I have felt as though he's defended, though the numbers don't show it, pretty well so far this year. His plus-minus numbers for 2 years in a row are pretty terrible. Not enough to be concerned, but, I'd be concerned on Gordon if the rest of that draft class wasn't struggling as well, if he still wasn't 21 years old. And those are the things. But he's going to have to get mentally tougher. It does seem as though mistakes seem to linger. There's some growth issues there. And then game-wise, there's some really obvious things that he either has to learn or he has to figure out the fact that he can't do. He either and that's going to change who he is as a player. But there's some things he obviously has to improve a great deal. I guess the other thing you get on YouTube is the video of me actually taking a sip of my coffee every morning. Um, and I'll hit some tip-off questions. But those are the big stories around here. It was a cute scene last night. We all went out for dinner. And after dinner, Tyrone Corbin rushing back to be able to get back home so he could stream the UC Davis game of his son playing. And just was once again kind of a reminder of who Ty is. It's funny, we went to this restaurant, and Ty's, everybody, somehow now people all know who Ty is. And every table wants a picture with him. And it's a different world for him now. He's still as cool and calm and collected as he's ever been along the way. But it is certainly a different world for Tyrone Corbin now that he is a head coach, and he's still the same guy, as is kind of exemplified by that rushing back to the hotel to watch his son. I thought that was a neat, cool moment. Few notes in the NBA. The Kevin Love contract got done, but it didn't get done without some problems, as seemingly is always the story in Minnesota. They wouldn't give him the 5 years. He's upset about it. Gets an offer in 3 years. Kevin Love's brother tweets out, "Thanks for borrowing my brother for 3 months or 3 years, or renting, I think it was." So we'll see how that plays. Pau Gasol had some very interesting comments about playing with the Lakers and Kobe shots, and basically that their whole approach right now has simply been to offensively just survive while defensively becoming great, which they generally have done, but it has in turn also opened the door for the shooting display that is Kobe Bryant. When asked about Kobe taking that many shots, he said, "It's not a plan or improv. It is what it is. It will continue to happen. The system has to help us all so we can contribute so he doesn't have to carry the load." So at the end, it's not only just his decision or a decision of any other player on the court, but more about the plays we run in the system. That's a pretty good shot by Gasol there. And he also says, this team has been effective when you have different weapons. I have always been for balancing inside and outside game, and if you have that, use it. When you have had that balance inside and out, the team has been the best during the years I've been here. But when you take a detour and you don't follow that philosophy and basic principle, the team is vulnerable and anyone can beat us. So there's always been a rift there. Gasol and has not gotten along great with Kobe, and that has created some problems. All right, let's go to the Locke tip-off questions for you. Send those to Twitter, #Locke tip-off, and then I can see them. Sandevil23 says, "How is Hayward's game different by playing small forward compared to shooting guard?" And actually, I went to 82games.com, and they actually have Gordon hasn't played any shooting guard all year. I've always thought about it as a defensive issue, not an offensive issue. Maybe it's becoming an offensive issue that he's being guarded by bigger and taller players, and therefore he is having a harder time getting the shot off. Defensively, I've always thought he wasn't quick enough to handle the small forwards, and he wouldn't have the length advantage that he has on the shooting guards. He has defended Iguodala, Marion, others very, very well this year, and therefore I would say maybe defensively it's not as big an issue as I thought. By the way, one note, remember the play where Marion sneaks away? That's actually, I found out since it's on Al. That Gordon did the right thing to come out and help on Nowitzki. Al's got to rotate over on that rotation. Z23, who hits us just about every day, Zach Lancaster. Is teaming Gordon with Eric Gordon worth both Jazz first-round picks? Eric Gordon, if he's available, would be an interesting player to go get. He's got some veteran. He's got some moxie. He can score. I like Eric Gordon an awful lot. It'd be a fabulous piece for the franchise, I guess. But I don't – is he worth both first – well, right now we got to get one of those. I'm not sure we'll ever see the Warriors pick. C. Sublime says, isn't that the advantage – all right. He sends me 3, so it's hard. But basically – is there an advantage to having a team 1 through 10 that are all very close in talent-wise, and can't you put CJ if Hayward is struggling? The team, I think, is always going to be the case, and this is actually what happened against Toronto. We're going to, though it kind of happened backwards, our starting 5 is probably not better than many other teams' starting 5s, but as games go on and they go down the bench and we stay and we continue to bring guys in that are equal to or as good as the guys they came in for, depending on the matchups, I think we get better as the night goes on. And then the question is in the final 5 minutes do we have a matchup that can win a game for us. And if you look at the games that we've won, we've had those matchups. We've played teams that have been missing somebody crucial late in a game, and so suddenly our matchups may be as good, if not better, when Ty works the various combinations. You look at the games we've lost that are close, the LA game and the Dallas game, they're veterans. They know how to play. Their five is probably better. And then even the other night, they had Bargnani on the floor for the first two, last fourth quarter in the first overtime, who was kind of able to create something for other people. And we didn't have that without Al. And so suddenly we were on the flip side of that scenario, whereas we've been taking advantage of it the other way. Then in the final overtime, really, Calderon just hits two bombs. One to force the second overtime and one that changes it, and Kleza hits a three. And those are shots that, guys make. And frankly, we're not making the three. So they just made some shots. But I think that's a good example. Just, Toronto's an okay team. They're not terrible. But when we suddenly went 5-on-5 with them down the stretch without Al, we had a tough time pulling away from him. We couldn't. Maybe would have had a hard time with Al too, whereas throughout the game, we can usually, as teams go deeper into their lineups, we usually can find some advantages. From longtime Jazz fan, how have we improved our shot blocking? I think it has to do with the way that Ty has changed the team defensively, and some of the rotations that the guys are taking are different than they have been in the past. And so therefore that has allowed guys to be at the rim to make plays. A few notes on Dallas tonight for you. I will tell me, by the way, there's that prep sheet. I didn't do it the other day. Nobody complained. I kind of did that as a test. Nobody noticed. So maybe it's not worth putting those up. Few notes on Dallas. Sean Marion, last 5 games, has 18 points, 8 rebounds a game. Kidd is 5 of his last 22 from the field, 3 of his last 18 from 3. And Jason Kidd is 2 of his last 18, or if you stretch it back, 4 of his last 28 from 3. So that some key things to see. They got some guys struggling without Nowitzki. And then in regards to just things to watch in this game, Dallas is the 3rd best defensive team in the league, the 7th best defensive rebounding. They do not believe in offensive rebounding. It's a really kind of common thing going on in the league right now, is a lot of teams do not believe in offensive rebounding. We're the 9th best offensive rebounding team in the NBA, and I'm not sure that's a good thing. There's the Doc Rivers, Rick Carlisle, Tom Thibodeau has Boozer and Noah, so they get rebounds because they're pretty good, but they send 3 guys back. They really send 3 and 4 guys back every time and leave one guy there at offensive rebound. If he happens to get it, then they get it. As Carlisle said to me the other day before the game, the math on that does not always work in your advantage on the few possessions where you garner the offensive rebound. The problem for us, if you look at Synergy Sports, our offense is basically largely predicated on getting offensive rebounds right now, which is going to make it hard for us to be a very good defensive team. That's a little disconcerting. So we'll keep an eye on that. The other one is, I've said the whole time that I was going to keep an eye on this season, kind of starting at Game 7. And, once we played Game 6, that was 8 preseason games. So Game 7 through 16, those 10 are the brackets I was going to look at. I will publish that later today at Locked On Sports, or Locked On Jazz, for what we've actually done in those 10 games. I think those are very telling 10 games, and I'll publish a bunch of stuff about the NBA in that theory of things today for you on Locked On Jazz. All right, that's tip-off. Hope you're good. From Dallas, we'll be talking to you from Shoot Around. See you later.